Hello everybody, this is G3. It's been a while. 6.84 rolled out. It was pretty big. I had a whole bunch of replays that I wanted to share with you guys, and then 6.84 came out, and I'm like, whoop! It's all gone. It's all gone. So, 6.84 came out, and big changes to a lot of things. It's going to be really exciting for TI5, and is my webcam facing me? Okay. So in this game I play Bounty Hunter, and Bounty Hunter is a very interesting character. He's really got two builds and only one of them is acceptable in the current meta. So in general for both of them, Bounty Hunter is picked as an offlaner because he has a really high base movement speed at 315 and he has invisibility. Meaning that early on, it's very easy for him to just stay and soak EXP, and he does well with early levels, because later on he gets gold very, very fast because of his ultimate, which is track. So let's talk about the two main builds. The first build is a right-click build, and it's only really viable if the enemy team is very squishy, don't have a lot of armor, and you have a very good early lead in terms of farm. Because you build items like, say, Desolator and any other big damage item, because his Janata, this skill over here, comes with built-in crit, but it's not a crit rate like with other characters, it's a crit at specific timing intervals. So it doesn't matter how fast you attack, you don't really get the full advantage of that crit, but it still makes it inefficient to buy crit items like Daedalus. So if you go for the right click build, you want to go for big right clicks so that you do one big hit and then you get to run off. The benefit of the right click build is that it's more sustainable because it's less mana intensive, but that's really the only bonus of it. The main weakness of it is just that you need a lot of early farm and you actually have less team fight sustainability because you really just do one hit and then you disappear for the next 6 seconds. And really these days, with the way the meta's been going on with all the burst skills, 6 seconds is one team fight, or at least decides one team fight. The other build that's more common in the meta is the Spellcaster build, and the Spellcaster build goes in two directions. Either you build more utility items like Yules, Sheepstick, Medallion of Courage, Urn, or you go for the nuker build where you eventually get a Dagon and you are a single target shutdown, and then aside from that it's just all about tracking things. So in this game I play the Spellcaster build because that's more common in the meta and it's more viable. It gives you, you come online a lot earlier and really you just need levels. So you do well offlane because you just need to soak EXP, and if you even force them to buy sentries, they're already committing gold to stopping you, and you're slowing their support from getting an early item, because supports usually don't get much. So if we look at GPM, let's say Lion got like one last hit, so he got that burst, but let's say a proper support doesn't really last hit. That's 2 minutes of gold spent for him getting a pair of sentry wards, and that's fine. You can later on just roam, or you can just play really, really passively. And it's fine for me to lane with Weaver, because Weaver's more about mobility. His Shikuchi, which does give him invisibility, is more about the mobility and the disjointing of projectiles. So with this build, I go for an early point in Janata. It allows me to last hit and it gives me a slow. It allows me to harass pretty well. So if we try and play a poking game, I'll do fairly well. I'll get a point in Shadow Walk, so I get some invisibility, but I'll only get 1 level in it, and then I'll just max out Shuriken. Now, Shuriken is a very strong skill. On an intelligence support, it would be nearly overpowered, because it's a short cooldown nuke, 10-second cooldown nuke, that at max level does a huge amount of damage. Like 300 magic damage is usually what you expect at level 4 of a skill, not at level 3 of a skill. That's the difference between level 5 and level 7. The main reason it's balanced on Bounty Hunter is because his mana pool is so small. As you can see right now, At level 2, my max mana is 273. And if I got Point in Shuriken, it would cost me nearly half my mana pool. So what does Bounty Hunter bring to a team? Well, I'll tell you what you don't bring to a team. You don't bring any big clash skills. You bring some damage, but that's about it. You have like a single target slow for 3 seconds, which is only 25%. It's not much. You don't have any stuns. You have nothing. But you give your team vision, so you need to be very mobile, and you bring a lot of damage, a lot of single target damage. So it's all about, in the Spellcaster build at least, the main goal is you get a lot of points in Shuriken, you put track on a hero you want to kill, and then you throw your Shuriken at someone else, and the Shuriken will bounce between all of your track targets within a range of 1200. So it will bounce between them, and you, as long as you have at least one track target, the mana cost spent to deal damage is worth it. Because let's say it's at level 4 and I spend 150 mana to do 375 magic damage to 2 heroes. That's worth it. That's very much worth it. If you can track 2 other people and so you have like your Shuriken bounce between 3 of them, that's amazing. Now early on, you need to be very, very conservative with how you spend your mana. Like, Pudge was really low and I wanted to chase him out of lane, so I used the mana right there. But usually you wouldn't be so eager to do this. And that's a kill combo, so I couldn't really do anything there. Like I said, you don't have any major CC, you don't stop any ganks. So if you're laning with someone, both of you need to have your own escape mechanisms. So we're off to a relatively bad start. But the nice thing about Bounty Hunter is that you can come back from a slight deficit very, very quickly because of track once you hit level 6. So I am playing a support Bounty Hunter. I've upgraded the courier. I've bought some wards. Now I didn't manage to buy 2 wards when the game started just because I figured our safe lane would be fine. You've got Troll with evasion. You had Wraith King who was there with stun, and yeah, I figured they'd have enough to be able to ward off a gank. But it was weird. No one knew who wanted to mid, so eventually the Luna rotated to mid, but we had no one in mid for a while, so no one was keeping track of the Slark. And Tusk is amazing at diving. So, obviously, when you're behind, like I said, you can't go for the right-click build. And that's fine, I already intended to play the Spellcaster build. So you need to decide whether you want your team needs more utility or more burst. And my team is like 4 carries. So my team will take a while to come online. Like the fastest person to come online would probably be Luna and then Weaver. And so I figured, you know what, we need more early upfront damage, and so I was going to go for a burst build. You go for the utility build when your team has people who can do the damage early on. People like a line. If your team has a line, you won't really need Bounty Hunter at all. If your team is like a Skywrath Mage or an Invoker, you'd go for the burst build. So I already know that there's a ward here. I saw the lion get wards, which is why I planted my own. We've dewarded a ward that was here. And so I'm roaming. I've got level 2 of my Shuriken. And so I deal a respectable 225 magic damage at level 4, which is pretty big. Admittedly, most of the other lanes are significantly higher level, like Slark's already level 8. But the others are just like level 5, so this will be fine. So my goal right now is just to roam and rotate. Now we don't see the Slark coming, and I just missed the Slark rotating, and Luna didn't call. So I'm rotating, but a kill happens here, and I'm in no position to do anything. It was unfortunate. I come around and I see this, but also the Slark doesn't realize that I'm nearby, because his health isn't regenerating. So then This is why I don't think it's a good idea for Slark to max out Dark Pack, because if he hadn't had such a high level Dark Pack, I wouldn't have killed him. And so we traded, but it's okay, because one, I got a lot more gold out of it, and I got a lot more EXP out of it, because he was level 8 and I was level 4. And just like that, I gained 2 levels, and I'm now level 6, and I'm essentially online. I do things now. Weaver's having a toughish sort of time, but as long as Weaver stays behind creeps, he's fine against this lane, because this lane's all about line leading into Pudge doing his combo. Yes, that gets away. So I come along now. I had to get wards, and so my first item is going to be an urn. And generally for your first item in the Spellcaster build, you want something that's low cost but relatively efficient. And you really only have 3 choices. A bottle. A bottle is generally very good if you intend to roam a lot. Urn, which is generally good if you don't need to burst, or if you want extra healing as well. And I managed to kill Slark, so we get some gold here. So just like that, we get more gold despite the fact that we lost 2 and they only lost 1. And we get a lot more EXP too, because track gold bonuses are really helping us. And the last one is Medallion of Courage. Medallion of Courage is if you're up against a lot of right clickers, or if your team depends on right click. Either way kind of works. And for boots, like, the old build was to get a phase boots, because that will empower your Janata when you come out of stealth. But especially when you're playing position 5 like this, and really Bounty Hunter isn't a fantastic position 5, you get Tranquils, because you need to roam, and especially because this time I don't have a bottle with me. I need to make do with getting my regen anywhere else I can. Plus the nice thing is that Tranquils gives me a little bit of armor. Also, let me take the time to show off my lovely little effigy. Isn't it awesome? It's Bounty Hunter too. Ask Creed incoming. So, back to Bounty Hunter. So I'm roaming here. We see this. We see Pudge come in, which is why Luna backs off. This happens, and I think someone on the team immediately unpauses. Yep. Okay. I back off immediately because I realized Pudge had a haste, but I think I must have forgotten to tell my offlane, because Pudge comes and ganks Weaver in a bit. So Weaver's about to die, but I'm not going to show you what happens. It's brutal, it's bloody, and really that's not important. The Weaver is not important. This is all about me. This is all about me, ladies and gentlemen. They have this weird dance up here. Doesn't even matter. Dead. And see, Weaver died. So, as Bounty Hunter, Slark is one of the worst things for you to try and deal with, simply because he can actually purge off your ultimate using his Dark Pack. And as you can see, I threw my shuriken at the creep, and so it bounced onto the Slark. But he leaped, well, he pounced, and therefore he cancelled it out. That's fine, but as you can see, I just did 2 spells, and I lost so much mana. And Tusk just comes in and does cleanup. I can't really do anything else, so I'm just going to track him, and then I'm going to run, because it's all I can do. It's all I can do. I buy wards. So my team is behind. It's behind pretty significantly if you look at the scoreboard. Gold, it's horrible. It's looking really, really one-sided. But here's the team. Here's the team. My team has a team of 4 carries plus me, and Bounty Hunter comes online very well with farm. So he's a support, but he does well with even a little bit of gold. Enemy team has a lot of people that comes online with levels. Tusk is all about getting early levels so he can do his combos and then eventually snowball with some items. Lion comes online with levels so he can drain more mana, stun longer, hex longer, then do more damage with his ultimate. Pudge just wants to do his combos. Magnus is all about landing those big RPs once he hits 6. And Slark is just about snowballing, putting a lot of early pressure. Now at this point I should have actually recast my track, but I backed off. Oh well. But at least we chase Slark off. I mean, he's gonna heal up, but I buy a little bit of room for Luna, and that's really okay. That's really okay at this point, because my XP per minute isn't even the lowest, and it's still respectable as a support. And my GPM isn't the lowest either. It's still relatively respectable. I'm keeping up with the other support. I wish my carries were keeping up with the other team's carries, but hey, can't expect everything, right? So we see something happening at top lane, and I'm teleporting in. I immediately shift queued my invisibility, so I'm going in. Now I'm just waiting for Weaver to come in. Weaver comes in, and so I decide to... And I fire my shuriken at Magnus, and so I do damage to 2 of them. So we're gonna die, but we get kills. So Luna just got a triple kill, and Weaver bought back. And the gold exchange is strongly in our favor, despite the fact that we even had to waste a buyback. So that's 2 kills in a buyback for 3 deaths. Generally, that should be equal. Now, you factor in the fact that they are of a higher level, but as you can see, the gold swing is clearly in our favor, because just 1 target was tracked, and I think there were at least 3 of us around when the tracked target died. So that was an extra 300 reliable gold going out. Yeah. Just like that. Let's come line, get some rewards, finish my urn, and all I'm looking for right now is to get my tranquils. Things are happening, I don't care, because I'm gonna just keep swinging the gold in our favor. Slark is empty on mana, so I can do this. And so I threw my shuriken at the creep, it bounced, got kills, we got track gold, and just like that, gold swing of 1.2k gold. Large amounts of gold. I just gained 700 reliable gold. I can do things all over again. Now I'm trying to just gonna come in, and really all I can do right now is just to track things as best I can. Or... do we get a kill? Okay, I guess we get a kill. Anyway, track gold. Again, gold swing of 1,000 for just 1 kill. That's insane. 1,000 gold, 1 kill. It's the main reason why when you have a bounty hunter on the enemy team, you cannot trade with them. Because 1-to-1 trades will always be in favor of the team with the bounty hunter. Because he's just going to put track on you. And the worst thing is that track can go through magic immunity. So yeah, you can use BKB and all, but he's just going to reapply the track. It has a cooldown of 4 seconds and it lasts 30 seconds. He can keep up track on everyone. I'm just soaking EXP here. I don't realize the lion's warded, but the minute this happens, I realize there's wards around. So I'm just going to run. They do some damage, I don't care. I'm just going to run. Everyone's dying. Do not care. It's my job to make space for the team as the position 5, the highest GPM on my team, by 1. But still, don't take this moment from me. XP per minute isn't in my favor. I have the lowest XP per minute on my team, but I still have the highest GPM because track. Track is amazing. And so at this point I have to make a decision on which direction to go. And I've already committed to the Spellcaster build, so it's whether or not I get another cheap early game item, or if I go straight for something that creates a bit of an impact. And I get a null talisman, so I'm going for a Dagon. I am going for a Dagon. I intend to create some early space by trying to burst things down as hard as possible. That's not usually a good idea against that enemy lineup. That enemy lineup is fairly tanky. But as far as I'm concerned, if I get to put pressure on the Lion, that's good enough. Because Lion has a lot of teamfight potential. So 3 of us are here. I didn't want to reveal myself by throwing out my track. In hindsight, I could have. Because we already had 2 people here, so I figured they must have known something was up. Yep. This was really dangerous. Pudge could have ulted me, but he didn't. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the safest place and Luna could have just hit him out of it. But he could have. Things might have happened. But as you can see, they are both tracked. And I can... Yep, just like that. Damage is being done. And so we make a big decision over here. I retrack Magnus, I get hooked in, but Magnus blinks in and RPs Luna after she's already hit her ult. Weaver kills Pudge and track gold is obtained by all. Gold swing of 2.6k gold. That's huge. Just like that. Huge gold swings. For 2 kills. Weaver gets out, that's pretty big. Hope he doesn't die. I TP'd out because I was behind the enemy tower and it was pretty squishy. So as you can see, just like that, gold swing, it's really relevant. Just brought us back by nearly 2.5k gold. And we got a tower, so that's 1k gold in our favor. Now I've forgotten that there were wards here, so this was a bit dangerous because they can see me and they know I'm here. So they know I'm roaming and rotating.
A quantity of murder, both sick and wicked.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My friend's inviting me to play, and this is actually the 3rd time I'm recording this, so I really don't want to pause to reply to him. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna set this to... Okay, wait. Okay, this was a really bad move by me. I shouldn't have gone in. I shouldn't have stayed to fight. Luckily, I had just enough health and I ran away. Okay, I'm gonna set this to hero chase on me while I reply to my friend on my phone. Okay, I'm back. Cool. So why did I max out Shadow Walk first? Well, it depends. See, if you get an early bottle, you can actually max out Janata first because that gives you a bigger boost. But if you max out Shadow Walk first, it's because you're still pretty starved for mana, and you don't want and it's more mana efficient that way. Oh my god, why isn't it moving? Okay. No. Fuck. I can't use smooth scrolling now, so you guys are just gonna have to live with this. So, they don't see me, which is good. I knew that there was a ward in mid, which is why I didn't go in. And I saw Tusk go this way, so I thought he was warding, but he juked me and I didn't realize he had a Shadow Blade because I haven't been paying attention to his items because I slipped up over there. So I throw my track, and this is going to be a big one. Magnus blinks and he disjoints it, so he didn't get stunned. But Pudge looped around and I harassed Magnus, so he's running while a clash is happening, and so that means no RPs are coming in. Pudge dies, Slark gets to escape. Lion comes in, Lion dies, he's not tracked. But Slark was tracked. And so these two guys are coming in. Tusk is tracked. And Magnus is dead and he's tracked. Okay, so that's 3 track kills and an entire enemy team wipe. That is a gold swing of 6.4k. 6.4k gold because 3 tracks. And nearly my entire team was there, so that's a lot of bonus gold going around. So you can see Weaver has gotten a whole ton. I have gotten a whole ton and I barely did anything. I had the lowest damage done in that fight between both sides. Pudge got completely shut down. And just like that. Oh, lovely. This is back up. So, this is what Bounty Hunter does. If your team can do well without you, and you just contribute a little bit of damage, and that's enough, you can give your team so much gold. And especially now the changes after 6.84 where Weaver manages to escape. After 6.84 where hero kills give you 10% more gold, it's so much more worth it to go for gank compositions. And I think we've been seeing quite a bit of it in, I think, was it the Star Ladder and the Join Dota series? There's been a lot of teams trying out more aggressive compositions with a lot more early game pressure, and then they just hope that it snowballs hard enough. Like Bounty Hunter is just the greediest way to play it, because hey, I don't really do anything, but hey, I trek. So what am I doing now is I'm trying to roam. I have some space, I've got some items, and I'm already semi-useful because I'll deal 400 magic damage, nearly 800 magic damage plus some right click. It's enough to take down some people who are at least about half health. I run to mid because we see them in our jungle. No, we don't see them in our jungle. It was a lie. I just come to mid because I'm psychic, apparently. I go in on Magnus, then this happens. Pudge saves us by making the RP miss, but still doesn't really happen. So we've lost 2, but that's 1 track kill already. And at this point, Weaver is farming offlane. I actually told him not to come in and just stay and farm, because by the time he teleported to our tier 2 and came in, he'd be too far off. But they're diving, and Slark just used Dark Pack, so now Weaver can come in freely. And there's the Weaver. Pudge dies. And so far this is a 3 for 3. And Weaver's gonna get this kill, and it's gonna be a 3 for 4 in our favor. And there was at least 1 track kill there, so gold happens because either Pudge or Magnus was tracked. I believe it was Magnus who was tracked. So yeah, gold swings because of track. I mean, the fact that track reveals invisible people, it suddenly nullifies people like Tusk, because as long as I can sneak around and put track on him, he can't just roam and gank us freely. And this is the really advanced put 2 sentries really close to each other build. It's about as advanced as Zergling rushing back in StarCraft, but oh well. Most of you probably haven't even played StarCraft because it's an old game. I have to say, I've actually had like younger gamers tell me, "Oh, I've never played StarCraft. I'm not interested in the classics," and I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I threw track here. This is good. Everyone on the enemy team is kind of an initiator anyway, so there's no real core person I want to track, but making sure I keep a track on an initiator is generally a good idea as a bounty hunter, so that they can't surprise you by blinking in out of nowhere. You'll always know where they are. And of course, if I can track multiple people and my shuriken bounces, I can harass do a whole bunch of damage. It'd be really relevant. I have a Sage's Mask here, and I think I was considering, this is cute, it's also really dumb by me. Magnus gets away. So far, this is a 1 to 2, 2 to 2. So basically, I overestimated whether or not I could get a harass off on Slark, because he just shackled me, and then they just fired a nuke at my invisible body because they knew where I was. So not really in our favor, both in terms of XP and gold. Can't really be helped. I should have just not been so bad. And then of course I just decide to sell away my Sage's Mask and decide, you know what, I'm just gonna get more Dagons. Like, I'm not sure if that was the best idea, but I reached this point where I was like, we need more burst. I need more burst. Scare him. And so now that we have hit this point where they are forced to actually be somewhat afraid of us, I can roam into their jungle and put down some wards, block some camps, and at least get some vision to harass a little bit. Now this happens, and this is one thing a lot of people with blink daggers, they do really, really badly. They just waste their blink. So he can't get away from me. Not that he could, but just like that. And gold swing of 1,000 gold. I get nearly 700 reliable gold just like that. I don't track Slark fast enough, so instead we just know Slark was around here. Okay, and I've tracked Pudge, so I know he's not going to be hooking us in from anywhere. Taking their camps, and this is good. Take their jungles. Big deal. Big motherfucking deal. They're all waiting to go in on the Wraith King. He's pretty much dead. Luna is dancing around here. I unfortunately get stunned because I was too close, but Pudge hooks back to Tusk. And I'm revealed because I'm dusted, but I have Tranquil Boots, so I move really fast. And he's tracked, so I get a 20% movement speed bonus. And now that dust is worn off, I'm just gonna throw my track up. And so there's 2 tracks out. We have vision over some of them. And this is all we could ask for. This is all we could ask for. And I just get to go back home and get another level of Dagon. So I mean, we lost Wraith King there, but yeah, the Pudge made a huge blunder by hooking back the Tusk. Kinda happens when you have like 4 melee on your team. Suppose I can't really comment. My team has 3 melee and 2 very short-ranged heroes. This is a level 2 Dagon. So now that they know that I'm roaming their jungle freely, I just decide to take some runes because I do need a little bit of gold. So do you ever transition out of the Spellcaster build to the right-click build? Sure. It depends. That's very situational. Depends on what they build. If like they build a whole ton of magic resistance, especially now with the new items, then sure, ignore it. But if they... This was so close. We should have actually gotten this kill, but I went in a little too early before Troll went in. But Weaver just got a double kill over here on Pudge and Lion, and somehow Tusk trapped himself. Don't care, he's a scrub. Weaver, I mean. Because I know that the Weaver player will be watching this video, so you know who you are. Shots fired. So let's talk about the enemy team. If you're up against Bounty Hunter, what can you do? Play defensively, ward a lot, and just make sure that even if you get tracked, you don't give up a track kill. Or if you do give up a track kill, you need to come out of it with a lot more. Especially the way gold works now. I'd say unless you kill someone who is of a really high priority, like a really big carry, which really doesn't matter when you're up against a team of 4 carries, it's only worth it if you trade 2 for 1 against a Bounty Hunter in your favor. Because Bounty Hunter will always make it in his team's favor. So this happens, and Troll has Aegis. Wraith King dies, Troll isn't getting any bashes, he finally gets a bash, but RP happens. And then they get pushed to the tower. Blade Mail comes up. Pudge kills himself on Blade Mail. So Weaver gets that. So I mean, it's a 1 for 3 at the moment, plus, well, 3 for 1 plus Aegis in our favor. I track, and then I get Shuriken. And just like that, I get a kill. Funny story. I get more gold than the Weaver who got a double kill. And he got a double kill on Lion and Magnus. I got a single kill on Tusk. And I get so much more gold. Because track. And track is OP. Track is so strong. And now they're all angry. So yeah, if your team does well with farm, Bounty Hunter is always a great choice because Bounty Hunter can really give your team a lot of options. So I just come in and I delete the Lion. I should have thrown my Shuriken at the Pudge, but oh well. So I die. But that's okay, because 1 for 1 trades are in our favor. As you can see, I gained 264 gold. I mean, the two of them got a whole bunch of gold too, but whatever. Whatever. And Troll's about to die. Magnus dies. Pudge dies. Everyone's dying. I think he's finally gonna go down here. No, he doesn't. He doesn't go down. He does nearly walk into a tower, but that's okay. He disjoints the attack, and then he runs. Now I have level 4 Dagon. I am going to make that Lion's life hell. Also, I have a higher GPM than Wraith King. I have a higher GPM than the entire enemy team. Because track gold. Track gold is OP. Track. And this happens. I did feel a little bit bad. Just a little bit. So we both kind of know the others around. I just avoid this place like the plague. Yeah, I plant 2 sentry wards up here, but that's okay. Because I'm pretty much a sponsor for my team. Like, all the gold they have, I'm sponsoring it. I should have thrown a Shuriken. I'm about to die horribly. No, that's okay. Because most of my gold was reliable, and I have a level 5 Dagon. So what do I get from here? More utility. Utility is now the best choice, or survivability, or sustainability. I think I was going to go for a Lincoln's here, because it would give me more defensive options, and it would allow me to protect my team a little better. But yeah, like, from a game that was really far behind, this is what the gold graph looks like. And yeah, my Weaver is doing well. My Luna's actually been doing pretty alright. Troll Warlord hasn't been building the best items. I mean, this is what he's got. Wraith King is not online. He's got just that. He doesn't do enough damage compared to the other two. So I mean, all in all, like, I was talking to the Weaver and I was looking at this and track is really contributing to a lot of our wins because the gold swings are really intense. And if you see competitive games with Bounty Hunters, that's what it ends up like. The team who has Bounty Hunter either does really well early on and snowballs out of control because they get so much more gold than the other team, or because they're essentially down one man because he doesn't have a CC or any early burst, he doesn't do enough, and they start losing too many fights and the enemy team gets out of control because they have more levels as well. Like, Bounty Hunter isn't overpowered in the current meta, but he is a very strong hero. And Slark is so salty. Like, wow. If he were any more salty, I'd be afraid to drop him into the ocean. Might kill someone. Okay, deaths happened. I got shoved into the fountain. Whatever. Wraith King gets out, so I'm the only one who dies. That's fine. Oh no, Wraith King's about to die. And there we go. So, Spellcaster Bounty Hunter, really annoying to deal with, all about roaming, all about giving his team vision, all about helping his team get more money so they snowball out of control. You build either burst or utility, you make sure to bounce your shurikens. I didn't do that enough later on in the game, but early on, as you saw, I did do quite a bit of bouncing. You do a lot of damage early on, you have some team fight presence as long as you have multiple track targets. You help your team snowball out of control, you do a whole bunch of shit, and then yay! Bounty Hunter. Your team gets monies and they go out of control. And then you still somehow have a higher GPM than the Wraith King. Okay. Anyway, I actually have the stats over here on the second screen. I dealt the third most damage, hero damage on my team. Weaver, of course, did first. And then Luna. And then me. And then Troll. And then Wraith King. So, it was awesome. The enemy team, the Slark played relatively well, but at the same time he didn't gank enough. Slark isn't a late game carry. He doesn't like really like 1v5 a whole ton unless he's snowballed. Magnus should have gotten a refresher instead of this Battle Fury. He had a Perseverance and we saw it. Pudge just eventually got shut down because he built Hood of Defiance, and our team is all about right click. Like, you don't need Hood of Defiance against our team. The only people who really do magic damage will be me and Luna. Lion went for Blink first, and that's not a bad option, but if you're going to go for Blink first, you need to save your Blink for the right time, and you need to be very careful about going out alone when there's invisibles on the enemy team. I don't mind the Tusk's items. He went for the Snowball build, and there's only so far that Snowball build goes, so eventually he just wasn't effective. Tusk is very much an early game hero, but he did about as well as he could. So yeah, this is how the game went, and this is how Spellcaster Bounty Hunter works. This is the Bounty Hunter that you see more commonly in the meta, and it works a lot better in the current meta, despite the fact that it has less sustainability in fights than the right-click build. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it was informative. I hope I answered a lot of questions in regards to what Bounty Hunter does and what he doesn't do, and more importantly, I showed his weaknesses in his approach. And I'm gonna have to go off now, so bye guys. Like, comment, subscribe, link to my Facebook in the description down below. Feel free to ask me any questions you might have. Bye!